going to be recording this, and because Teams is dumb and you guys aren't native to the Louisville organization that Teams is kind of hooked into, you don't have access to the recording directly in Teams. So the workaround that we have for it is that when this is all done, I will save the recording and then upload it to the YouTube channel that we've created for this program. So once I get it all uploaded and everything, then I will put out a link so that you guys can review it. And don't review this one. This one's going to be awful just because I'm new to this. But the other ones where we're going over stuff, you can go ahead and review that later. So I'm also new to kind of formal teaching like this. I've been, teaching my airmen for, better part of a decade now, but in kind of a setting like this, I'm kind of new. So this is a two-way street. If I'm not kind of giving you the information that you need, or if I'm completely sucking, then I can't fix it until you guys tell me about it. So I'm a big boy. I can handle any criticism. So please don't just blow smoke up my butt. If I'm not meeting your expectations, then let me know. And then I want to give you a little bit information about me. Why the hell am I qualified to be teaching you guys anything? I'm just retiring from the Air Force after 20 years. I've spent 16 of those years doing networking. The last 13 years has been kind of hardcore networking for me. Spent 5 years at what the Air Force calls the INOSC, or Integrated Network Operations and Security Center East. That was at Langley, Virginia, where we managed 64 bases, or about half the Air Force, and also 30 smaller sites doing anything from BGP, OSPF, EIGRP, large scale routing and security type configurations, because that's the kind of entry point for all of those bases. And then the last 8 years, I've worked at the 612th Air Communications Squadron here at Davis-Monthan, Arizona. And we supported the Air Operations Center for Southcom. So they had a big data center, and, it's a no-fail mission that you have to, do what they kind of, the network that they need, right? So they'll have different requirements, and also I had a bunch of airmen that at that point in my career I kind of had to guide them. So that's what I was doing there. I have a CCNP in routing and switching, also in security and enterprise, and then about 12 other Cisco certs. So I'm either a glutton for punishment or I'm just addicted. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I've taken about 10 Cisco exams over my time, so I'm very familiar with the structure that Cisco has for their kind of tests. They've obviously changed that recently, and we'll kind of get into, the kind of clarity that I can give from an overall perspective, and a more targeted one that you can get for the CCNA itself. Like I said, for the past about 7-8 years, my job, other than kind of working on the network, has been to bring up the next generation of airmen. So I've done a lot of training sessions. I've never done one that's been targeted for the CCNA, in particular. I've always been just about teaching them the skills that they needed for the network that we were operating on. So that's why this is going to be a little bit new for me, but I do have experience kind of conveying concepts. So hopefully I don't suck at it. We'll see. I'm currently a senior network engineer for Raytheon. I just started about a month ago, so kind of getting my first foray into the civilian world ever. So that's been kind of interesting for me. And then one thing I wanted to kind of let you guys know is that networking applies even if you don't plan on being a network admin or engineer. A lot of people, like if you're planning on being a sysad or really anything in IT, the network connects everything, right? So if you don't really understand how the network is operating from a fundamental perspective, then that is kind of, that's going to be a big part of the picture that you are depriving yourself of. And so where whereas I would say like a Microsoft cert won't really help you that much if you're going to be a network engineer. A CCNA or Cisco certs in general are going to still be a big help, even if your end goal is not to be a network admin. And especially from the security perspective, I've worked with cybersecurity guys, and a lot of them do not. They know how servers work and how vulnerabilities work, in a Windows or Linux environment, but they're not really familiar with how the traffic flows over the wire. So it's a big entry point, right? So if you know how firewalls work, that's great. But if you don't understand how, let's say someone gets through the fire, how they're going to be able to permeate through your network or not, depending on how you set it up, that's a big piece of the puzzle that you kind of need to know in order to be, most effective. All right, so in the email I sent out to everyone, it should have had the Cisco exam topics attached to it. Here, let me share my screen. We can kind of go over a couple of the points that I wanted to do. So, can everyone see my screen all right with my mouse moving?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right, so CCNA, right? Well, this exam, changes a lot. And obviously, I took the CCNA back in 2013. So it's been a hot minute since I did it. But, you're going to have this course that you're going through and just your self-studying in general. And, one thing I always, tell any of my airmen or my, colleagues that are trying to go for the CCNA, kind of go, what do you suggest doing? Well, first is go to this. If it's any Cisco test that you take, look it up on Cisco, and they will have something like this. So, because for me, it's about allocating your resources as effectively as possible and efficiently as possible. Now, you need to go over all of these, obviously, but let's say that something like automation and programmability is your weak suit, which, like, for me it would, because I really haven't done a whole lot of this. But it's also only 10% of the test. So does it really make sense to forego something like going over network access more in depth to focus on automation and programmability when network access is double the amount of the test that automation is? So use this as kind of a guide for how best to allocate your time and energy going over these topics. And so this is just an overarching 20%, and here are all the different topics that they're going over. This also kind of will help you, let's say in the videos that they didn't really go over one of these, just because it's a training course dedicated towards the CCNA doesn't mean that they, don't miss things, right? So use this as your guide, as all the things that you need to know in order to be best prepared for this certification, and then keep note of these percentages so that you can, like I said, be as efficient as possible. And just these three areas, we're talking 65% of the test. That's a big part. So which I agree with, because these are all the kind of main core issues of routing and switching that you need to know in order to be effective in this field. So the other thing is that, like I said, 8 years ago I took the CCNA, much different test from how it is today. That's even that was true even before they did a massive overhaul of the program. So I can't tell you how the test is specifically, right? Nor would I really be able to, because of the NDA. But I can't. My experience in the CCNA will not really help you. What will help you is CCNA subreddit, and this is true for any certification test that you take. I would always point you to the subreddit for that certification, because this is going to be people that have taken it recently, all the things that helped for them, all the things that didn't help them, what things that they saw generally, because you can't talk about specifics. But are we calling here? Yeah, Hang on one second.
I think there is a phone number associated with the meeting.
Is it really? Okay. Also, I'm new to Teams. I've I use Zoom a lot, but yeah, I haven't. So if you got to call in, however works best for you. So let me know if you're having like issues getting into it. Okay. But so the subreddit, and this is where you'll be able to also ask questions, right? So you can kind of just passively look at different things that people are kind of using that's working for them, what's not working. But it's also a place where you can ask questions from other people that are kind of studying, right? So it's kind of a virtual like study hall for the certification. Because I've had very good experience in this where people are very, very eager to kind of help each other out, right? Because most of them got assistance from other people when they were trying to get the certification exam, and we all want to get collectively better at this. So this is going to be a huge resource for you when you are doing your studies with other people that are kind of where you're at, or maybe like slightly past where you're at and just took the test, or something like that. So definitely keep this in mind. Then next, I want the CCNA kind of has a weird reputation, right? And a lot of people consider it to be much more advanced than it is. So this can kind of get you two ways. A lot of people will end up being intimidated, thinking that it's a very advanced cert, and then a lot of people will also think that that's kind of the end of the road because they think it's an advanced cert, and it's really not. It may have been early 2000s, but that's very much changed over the past 2 decades. So, but I'd say it's not an entry level cert, but I would classify it more as a beginner ish cert, because the whole point of the CCNA is just a third party validating that you possess the basic fundamental knowledge of networking principles. There's a very big difference between someone who just got their CCNA and someone who got it and has been doing this for 5-6 years, right? There's also a big difference between a CCNA and CCNP, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be. It's just a big range in there, but don't let it intimidate you. And if you plan on being a network admin or engineer, and I would say do not stop at the CCNA. Use it as a good launching point, but it's not the end of the road. And then that's kind of let me turn that off, and that's most of the kind of content I got pre-set and everything. I'd like for everybody to kind of introduce themselves and why they're thinking about doing the CCNA. So I'll just kind of, so you're not stepping on each other. Let's start with the phone number, guys. So whoever's ends in 0053, you want to hit us up, introduce yourself, and share why you're interested in the CCNA?
Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Bogan. Currently, I am on orders in the military with the Aviation Command, working in the MedOps department. On my civilian side, I pretty much do computer support, application support, kind of troubleshooting. So I would like to get more into like business analyst, project management, stuff like that. So not really familiar with networking side. I just completed my master's in information systems, business analytics. So just looking to learn more with certification. Thank you.
Very cool. Nice to meet you. All right, let's start with and then whoever ends in 4578, the phone number.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Johnny Williams. So I'm a National Guardsman. I've been
working in IT since 2008. I have currently I'm a system administrator in my civilian engagement. I'm also a system administrator in the National Guard, but I'm transitioning over to cybersecurity and information security. And I feel that CCNA is going to allow me, give me a better background to understand the, as you stated earlier, the flow of information and knowing where the security vulnerabilities are.
Awesome. And you are correct. It will help you in those things. So good on you. All right. 3988. How's it going?
Hi, this is Jared. I'm currently working as a data analytic person or performance management with this. Beginning to more of a data or network approach to things. Everyone around me is pretty much a network analyst, so I figured that getting a CCNA would be a step in the right direction, especially with how this is with the DoD. Yeah.
All right. Awesome, man. Good to have you. All right. Adrian Robinson.
All right. Hey, everyone. Adrian Robinson. I'm actually stationed here at Fort Knox. I am the deputy G6 for the 1st Theater Sustainment Command. Been in, I guess you could say, been in IT for 16, 17 years. However, I've had warrant officers and NCOs that kind of took care of all of the in-depth networking. I kind of stayed top level, dealt more with operational type planning. However, I'm in the process of transitioning out in about 3 years. So trying to now take kind of the knowledge I've kind of learned and now trying to work towards solidifying that with certifications prior to leaving the military to basically make myself a little bit more marketable on the outside. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, having just gone through the transition, you're definitely doing it right. You don't want to wait till you're 6 months or a year out to start thinking about doing that. So good job. And if you have any questions on that aspect, you can let me know as well.
Cool. Appreciate it.
All right, David Beecher.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, so I'm David Beecher. I'm currently active duty Air Force. I'm stationed at Fort Meade. So I'm cybersecurity by trade. Most of my certifications have to do with cybersecurity. I have a decent amount of network knowledge. I just never formally dove into like the CCNA proper. I've done like CCNT kind of stuff, but never actually took the certification. So this felt like a really good time to go ahead and do that. So yeah, I'm really excited to learn everything and get to know everybody.
Awesome. Well, it's better late than never to get onto the better side of IT. So, all right, Dayton Will.
Morning, I'm Dayton. So I'm a infantryman right now, but my knees and back have a shelf life, and I'm starting to approach that. So I'll be out in March of this coming year, working on my bachelor's in IT, hoping to finish up this summer. I got my Security Plus last year, which just really let me know how much I don't know about networking and how much I need to learn. So long term, I'd like to work my way into the InfoSec field and eventually get into penetration testing. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Awesome. Glad to have you here. All right, Jarrett. You there, Jarrett? Man, already sleeping through one of my sessions? I mean, I get it, but still a little rude. And I want to apologize to a couple of you because of the way that your name shows up if I don't have my cheat sheet of email to name. So if I just I'm just going to say what's on the screen and just kind of clarify it when you come on. So JD Garcia.
Hey, I'm Jacob Garcia. I am a signal officer in the National Guard. I've been on active duty for the last 5 years, and I'm transitioning off into the civilian sector now. I've got Security Plus right now, and looking to do like a network admin job, civilian side. I got some good networking fundamentals built, a little bit of hands-on, not too much as officer. Looking forward to this class though. I think it'll help my marketability in the civilian sector.
Awesome. And I won't hold the fact that you're an officer against you. How about that?
That's fair.
I'm retired now, so I can get away with saying that. All right. Jock PJ.
Yeah, so name's Paul Johnson. I've kind of had a pretty good ride in the career so far. Started off as IT as enlisted, and then eventually decided to cross over, do some intel work as an officer, and then figured, well, I wanted to get back in IT, but cyber wasn't a thing. So when it became a thing, I decided to go ahead and see what I could do about getting into it, and so I was able to cross over into cyber. So I've been kind of trying to do this three-pronged learning experience with threat intelligence, being intel is my background, with a little bit of IT, so a little bit of network engineering, and then of course anything to do with like host analysis, stuff like that, so that way I have a good round understanding of cybersecurity, because it's kind of a I like to think of it as almost like a jack of all trades, and so it's interesting that I will probably never be done learning cybersecurity forever, and I think that's what makes it exciting, because you can pretty much just open a book and figure out something new every day. And so being here, I figured I have enough background in networking from my previous experiences that I figured this would be a good place to start. And so I'm definitely glad I'm here, and I'm glad I have a very experienced instructor to begin with too. So I get the best of both worlds here. So I appreciate it.
It's awesome, and your kind of situation is exactly like what I was talking about. How you kind of need to be that kind of jack of all trades for in IT, know the next mile, and being aware of how networking works is going to make you infinitely better at cyber. I promise you that. So very good on you, and same thing. Your officers are cool, I guess. All right, John Legg.
Hello, this is John. I'm currently a telephone switch technician. Been so for about 20 years. Mainly of the VIA telephone switch is what my, expertise is in. But as the world going on more and more VoIP, I've need to get some Cisco certifications, and this is the way I decided to try to transition over into the networking world. So that's kind of why I'm taking this class.
What branch are you, John?
I was in the Air Force for 4 years, currently out, and I work at Fort Knox.
You're a wire dog?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Wire dogs got kind of, they got rolled into the new career field that I ended up being in, cyber transport. So worked with a lot of wire dogs. And
thank you.
All thought they were the best, which unfortunately a lot of them were. So, but good to have you here, Joseph Ferrer. And if I hack up your name, please correct me, because I don't want to continue doing it. Joseph?
You guys can hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. You say good, sir. I am in the military right now. I'm stationed here at Fort Knox. I'm with the 5th Corps unit. I'm working with G6 help desk. So I want to get some knowledge in network, and I'm planning to take another other certifications, so I can get more knowledgeable in IT areas. So that's basic of that. All the things that I have for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to have you here, man. All right, Kevin Gleason.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep, 5x5.
Cool. So I'm active duty Air Force stationed in the NCR, Andrews Air Force Base. I have some background in computer security. I figured that the CCNA would be pretty good to stay current with the networking aspect. So, and also keep myself marketable. So that's all I have.
What's your AFSC, Kevin?
17X.
Okay.
So,
Man, there's a lot of officers in here. That's like real. I mean, I'm very, very happy to see that. I thought it was 17 Delta and 17 Sierra. Is X-ray a new shred out?
oh no, the X is just general. So yeah, it's S or Sierra and Bravo. I'm sorry, Sierra and Delta, and then you got the Bravos and the Alphas.
Okay, gotcha. Obviously, I'm not very schooled in that area of it, but good to have you here, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Kim Dickerson.
Hello, Kim Dickerson here. I am a federal employee that just became eligible for early retirement last week. And I've been with the government going on 39 years since I was in high school. And maybe like since the late 90s, the late 80s, I have been anything from a mainframe operator to now I'm in what they call ITSM. I'm the release manager here at Fort Knox at HRC. I make sure everybody's done what they're supposed to do before they release the changes to the Army software programs. And I used to be more technical than this. Right now, I just oversee stuff. So I have a Security Plus, and I am looking forward to trying some contracting before I stop working altogether. And that's it.
Cool, good to have you. And to a lot of you guys that kind of been around it but haven't been kind of doing it actively in a while. The saying that I always tell people is it's a lot easier to relearn something than to learn it for the first time. So kind of take comfort in the fact that it's not your first time getting exposed to IT, and just it's going to be difficult, sure, but I've had to do it. I spent time over in NATO and then got thrown to the INOS, the most premier operations center the Air Force has, and I talk about being thrown in the deep end of the pool. So the big thing is to kind of just take advantage of this and put in the effort, and that's all it really takes. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, Matthew Nice. Sorry, I don't know if we have multiple Matthews now.
Yep. So I was an engineer officer, and I'm transitioning to 26 Alpha Network Engineering, and I go to school in April for that. So I'm just trying to get all my certs before I go to school, so I don't have to take the class and can work on other certs. And I currently work at HRC and do a lot of force structure analysis and system updates.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I did that, not for that, but I had to get my bachelor's in WGU, so I made sure to kind of get as many certifications kind of out of the way first so that I could just already get credit for it. So it's a very effective strategy in my book. All right, more, it's Timothy, right?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, the more Contreras is confusing. This is a joint email I have with my wife. So her last name is Contreras, my last name is Moore. So I'm 31 Bravo military police. I'm over in Belgium right now, in the Army. I did 2 years of a Cisco class, working towards the CCNA, and then I just never got the cert, and that was like 3 years ago. So I wanted to brush up on my knowledge, and probably going to be relying on some of these guys who have been around it for a long time because I don't remember a lot from what I learned in that class. Yeah, that's my story.
All right, so an MP that knows IT, they must hound you all the time.
I'm not as knowledgeable as I'd like to be, but I've had to help out a few people a few times.
Okay,
Usually it was
these
just
are
a
notorious for
cable.
knowing IT stuff, though.
Yeah, usually it wasn't. Usually it was just like a cable wasn't plugged in.
Okay, yeah, later one that gets you every time. Where in Belgium are you?
I'm in Chevreuse. You said you were with NATO. I live like 5 minutes from Shape.
Yeah, I was in Shape.
Yeah, I live like 5 minutes from there.
Okay, yeah, I know Chevs very well.
Yeah.
BX and a commissary is really all it's good for.
Honestly, there's nothing here.
All right, well, good to have you, man.
Thank you.
All right, Myron.
Hello, my name is Myron Bogan. I'm here at Fort Knox. I am retiring from the recruiting command. I want to get away from talking to people, so I chose IT. CCNA is the way to go right now.
I completely respect that motivation. Unfortunately, IT, you don't get to avoid talking to people as much, but network guys do get to talk to people the least. So, uh, you know, good choice. I don't know if you like did a survey of IT guys and then found out that that's how it was, but I'm right there with you.
No, I'm a business analyst for my current job until I get done, so I understand. The talking to people was a small joke.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Nick Otto.
Hey there. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So my name's Nick Otto. I'm part of the Air National Guard for Oregon. I'm actually a cyber transport specialist as well. I just finished up tech school about 5 months ago or so fairly new. Right now I just work at the G6 help desk for the Army in my full time. So want to get the CCNA so I can advance and move up to maybe networking or system admin or something else.
Cool. That's welcome to cyber transport. Coolest AFSC that there is, obviously. And yeah, this is definitely the way to go for your career fields. I mean, granted, guard's a little different, but as a cyber transport person, network routing and switching is the most common aspect that you end up getting employed into. So yeah, glad to have you here, man. All right, Sean, we got to talk about the spelling of your name there, brother. You're so close to being cool. And
what's funny is I just was saying that in my head about your name as well. I was like, how can I throw in a joke about his name? It's all good though, man. Hey, so recently retired Air Force, cyber transport, cyber support superintendent. I am in the Dallas-Fort Worth area right now, and I'm working for a wireless internet service provider. So Cisco certifications is something I aspire to get while on active duty, and for whatever reason, just didn't work out that way. So looking to pursue the CCNA as well as other advanced certifications and add it to my list of credentials, for the company I work for and beyond.
Awesome. Well, yeah, it's what did you retire as?
Senior Master Sergeant.
Okay. Well, very cool. And yeah, I mean, especially when you're a senior NCO, certs are, not the thing that most people are looking for. So, but, better late than never. And good choice going for this one. And it's good to have you here, man, despite the name.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, Warren.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, my name is Warren Johnson. I spent 5 years active duty as a 31 Echo in the Army, corrections, and I reclassed over to human resources in the reserves to this day. I was in Fort Knox reclassing, and this information about this course kind of fell into my lap, so I was in the market for a career change anyway. And so this is my actual introduction into this IT cybersecurity field. So I know it's probably gonna be challenging, but I'm here for it. So
Hey, anything that's worth doing is going to be challenging. So, don't get intimidated, and just have fun with it, man. All right, is that everybody? Is there anyone that I missed? No. All right. Well, we went a lot shorter than I expected. So really, the only other thing I kind of had planned for this was any kind of introductory questions that you may have, questions for me as a person. Hopefully, you don't have any of those, but don't want to take it off the table either. And yeah, or, if you have kind of questions how this first week is going, I know that so everyone is good with LinkedIn, correct? All right, I'll take the silence as yes. But okay, so this first week is also going to kind of be going over that first module and let me.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm in LinkedIn, but I had an old account, and so I have two different emails. How when I get ready to go in the area in LinkedIn that's related to this course, it's asking me to pay for it. It's
So
like, or should I use my old email or the email that I'm using with this class?
the email that you're using with this class is the one that got linked. So that's the one that you want to use.
Okay, so I'll create another account then.
Okay. Yeah, that may be what you have to do. If you're still having problems, email me, and I have some potential steps that you could also take that our program director he's done most of the troubleshooting on that end. So, yeah, go ahead and set up a new account and include and link. Actually, you should be able to, with your existing account, just link this email with, what do you call it? Yeah, I think you can add that email to your existing account, and that should give you the option to, or it should do it. Because I've done that with my LinkedIn account. I had like my personal email, and then I had another email that I kind of linked to it, and so it's just one account. This kind of saves you from having to, actually switch from LinkedIn to another instance of LinkedIn.
Okay, I'll try it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, Sean, I had a question.
Yes.
So, I can get with you offline about this, but in case I missed anything in the first few minutes of class that I wasn't able to make it for, sorry, the time just got away from me.
At what point did you join in?
You had just gotten done talking about like the Reddit thread.
Okay.
I can get with you offline about it.
Yeah, and then, like I said, this session is being recorded, so I will post it to the Teams page, a link to YouTube, and that's where I'll be uploading the recording, so you can go through and see everything.
All right, Roger. I also saw there was another meeting like around the 20th. It said it was like 48 minutes long. I wasn't tracking that. Did I miss anything with that?
I don't know. So when I posted the scheduled meeting, like today's meeting, I don't know if like they had the option for someone to join, but it wasn't an actual meeting. I think it was just a glitch or something.
All right, Roger.
Yeah. Okay, so any other questions? Because so far I've not heard a terrible question. I'm very proud of you guys.
Do you think a home lab would be worth it? They sell those like kits on eBay and whatnot.
I would say it's worth it in that you need to actually get your hands into machines, right? You need to be doing the configurations. You need to do the show commands and kind of see what it looks like. You have a couple of options. Physical equipment is an option. It's gotten a lot cheaper, fortunately, but personally, I like virtualized equipment because it gives you a lot more options. You're not locked into just whatever you ended up getting for your home lab. So GNS3, that's a very good question, actually, because I totally forgot to make a note of this. GNS3 and EVENG, I'll type them in the chat for you guys. GNS3 and so these are programs that you can run like on your laptop. I have it running on my laptop. I do it for for funsies and also to kind of show anyone that I'm kind of training. It's always better to kind of demonstrate with actual equipment. So what it allows you to do is virtualize switches and routers, and you can actually virtualize anything from ASAs to Nexus devices to a lot of stuff. Those of you guys that are active duty, a lot of times you have access to what's known as the Joint Enterprise License Agreement. And this is something that like DoD has with Cisco. And part of that allows you to get software from Cisco. So the images that you would need in order to run something like GNS3 or EVENG, you can, if your account is linked, then you can get that from Cisco for free. And so it's very helpful. If you don't have that, there are other ways to get it. I will not tell you how you can do that, but they are there. And if it's something that you want to potentially pay for, Cisco has something called Viral, VIRL. So a lot of the images that I get are actually, they're considered viral images, but so if you don't have a Jella type link with Cisco, then Viral is something that you can use. You have to pay for it, but it again allows you to virtualize equipment, and I would say probably be more. I don't know how much Viral costs because I didn't have to pay for it, but kind of look at however much it is to get your physical equipment versus doing Viral. But yes, 100% configure stuff and see what it looks like on a switch or router. That's going to make it so much more real and less theoretical.
So this is Paul Johnson again. To piggyback off of that, so we do get the virtual environment, right? So what are there like labs you can download into the virtual environments and kind of walkthroughs to kind of get used to some of the expectations of the do outs that you would have for like say each chapter and stuff like that?
So for this, no, I've not built out anything like that. It's just, that's not kind of what kind of the goal of this was. And to be perfectly frank with you, the amount of hours that I get to do this, I don't have the time for what that would take. It's just it's a lot of upfront work to put all that stuff together. Especially to have it kind of mirror, like I said, the CCNA topics, where anything that I have has been stuff that I created like specifically for training sessions I had for my airmen, and not geared specifically towards the CCNA. So I wouldn't want to.
No, I understand. What I was trying to get at though is that sometimes there's websites out there that you can get, and they do offer like lab environments, and you can just download the configuration and just upload it type thing. And if that's the case, then would you know of any?
I think so. I think there are a couple for GNS3 because there are some things that you can get done in GNS3 that don't require like a full. It's really just routing that you can do on that type of stuff. That's I'll give you like a crappy history lesson. In the nascent days of being able to be able to kind of virtualize equipment, there's something called Dynamifs, which allowed you to create a virtual router on whatever system you were hosting, but all it could do is routing, right? Because switching requires ASICs or an application-specific integrated circuit, and you couldn't virtualize that in that manner. They've since been able to actually be able to do that in most ways that you need to, at least for training purposes. But so I do know that there are GNS3 centric labs and sites out there, because GNS3 has been around for a long, long time and been used. I used it back in 2009, I think, is when I first started using GNS3. Now that I'm more advanced, a lot of what GNS3 does pisses me off, and that's why I am a big fan of EVNG. But I think from your guys' perspective, GNS3 is going to be the most user-friendly platform, and also because it's been around longer, it's going to have the most resources out there. So if you look up like GNS3 CCNA labs, I'm sure that you will find some stuff. Just kind of see how recent it is, because you may get some from like 5 years ago that still not better than nothing, but you just kind of have to take it with not a grain of salt, but just know the time difference between now and when that curriculum was kind of put together.
No, that's perfect. I appreciate that.
And also, be fortunate that CCNA is one of the most popular certifications out there. So there are a ton of third-party resources, blog posts and different articles and tutorials and stuff. When you start getting into like the CCNP world, there are a lot less resources out there. So you're going to be a lot more on your own to figure stuff out. So CCNA, there's so many resources out there. You guys are really spoiled. So, and then again, if you're running against something, you're just kind of curious, how legit it may be or whatever, feel free to hit me up, and I can kind of take a gander at it and let you know as well.
Hey, Sean, on that note, are we going to be doing anything with Netacad? I know we used that when I was taking my class, so I didn't know if we'd be using anything with that here.
No, because this isn't a Net Academy accredited course.
Okay.
Because they do Netacad at the Guard train in Little Rock, but that's actually in a lot of those courses you actually have to be kind of sanctioned by Cisco, because it's really their curriculum and their kind of structure and stuff, which is great. But yeah, that's we just don't have, because we're not accredited by them, we don't get it. But we're also not constrained by them too, so it's kind of a pro and a con. So this week is going to be the get started on the first course, because there's 3 items in this training section. So that it's, I don't know why they did it like this, but this is how they did it. So you guys are gonna have plenty of time. It's not like we're having you go through like 80 bajillion modules in a couple of weeks. So go through this, go through it again, and kind of take notes, see what areas that maybe he kind of like glazed over it and you want to get some other knowledge on it. See what other what you can get from the subreddit, and if then I'm here as well. So if you're up against a wall, the important thing is that you put in the effort for it, but I don't want you wasting a whole bunch of time just oh man, I just do not get what he's talking about. That will happen. Like, there's a lot of concepts that it wasn't until like the 5th way that I learned it that it finally drove home for me. Like frame relay, which is an old technology, but somehow you still get tested on it even as recent as last year. Just aspects of it that I could not get. I'm like, it makes no sense. What the hell? And then finally, the 5th way I learned it, I found another instructor that had a good analogy. I was like, oh, well, I wasted a whole bunch of my life that I can't get back. So there's no one way that's going to work for all of you. And find stuff that will. But this is the kind of the material we have, and then if it's not working for you, that's what I'm here for, to kind of keep you from getting stuck in a rut. So yeah, this week will be this the network fundamentals and access. And if you go back to the exam topics list, that's 40% of the test. So almost half of the test itself is just in this first set. So just as far as like knowing like what you kind of what you may need to spend most of your time on, this first week is going to be a biggie. So just kind of keep that in mind, and also know that there are going to be some things in this topic list that I am not 100% familiar with, because either it's just not been part of my job, it hasn't been part of a certification test I've taken in the past. But if I'm not familiar with it, I will get familiar with it and then help you through it. So just know that it's possible there's a couple of topics on here that I may have to get back to you on, but I will get back to you. So awesome. You found a okay, cool. Yeah, stuff like this. Yeah, GNS3 themselves do have a lot of labs. So this website is good. They do a good job of like kind of putting a lot of stuff in there for you. I could go on a whole thing of the reasons why it does kind of frustrate me, but it's still a good program. So yeah, definitely use stuff like this. It's really the way to kind of go. All right, we have a few minutes left. Any remaining questions for me? I've kind of been stream of consciousness sometimes. Hopefully that's not too annoying. Also kind of getting used to this virtual setup, not used to teaching people virtually, so I'm sure you guys are kind of used to it by now. All right, well, if there's nothing else, we can, give you back a few minutes of your day and let you guys start being able to, if you haven't already, get started on that first module. And like I said, we'll be available. I'll be available all week, but so email me, hit me up on Teams, and just whenever I can get back to you, I will. And talk with each other too. You guys are a team in this, so if you're having an issue, it's possible someone else in the classes had it, or may be able to also help kind of get you through it. And then a week from today, we'll do it at the same time, 10 o'clock. Glad that it worked for so many of you guys. And again, if you can't make it, then I will be recording all the sessions and making them available on YouTube. All right. Well, it was excellent meeting you guys, and looking forward to you guys getting smarter on this, and me helping you get there. All right. See some thumbs up.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, John.
All right. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Same time?
Same time.
Rod, we're good. See you.
All right.
Bye.